Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be making templates in AutoCAD. This is a small video from our AutoCAD Architect program. I hope you enjoy, and let's dive right into it. When we go to layers, we're going to want to create layers that are applicable to our drawing. So if we go here, we're going to do, let's say, doors. Maybe I want another layer. I want one with walls, and then I want another layer, and I want it to be windows. And then I do another layer. I need a viewport layer. I'm going to need a title block layer. I'm going to need furniture maybe. Kitchen, or no, furniture. I'm just going to keep it small and short for this tutorial. So if I go to doors, and you're also going to want to have colors that kind of work with what you're doing. So I don't know, for doors maybe we'll do a brownie color. For furniture, we'll do, let's say, more green. For our title block, we'll want that to be black. Viewports, I'm going to keep it blue. Walls, white. Windows, let's say, orange. And there you have it. Now you can also go in here and change your line types to what you desire. So if you don't remember how to do that, please go back in the previous lessons and change it to what you need it to be. You can also change your line weights and your transparency. Keep it the way you need it to be for when you're doing, because this is going to be something that you're going to come back to. So let's say you do a drawing for a customer who's doing a shed, but you want to use the same template and you want to use the same layers and everything for a house. You're going to want to be able to come back, use your layers in templates and in everything, just so you can go and get everything going, so you don't have to go and redo all of this. Because what this does is it saves you time on layers, it saves you time on title blocks, and it saves you time on your viewports. So once you have everything you want here, please feel free to pause the video, create what you need, create the layers you think you're going to need. These are the ones that I would recommend you have: at least doors, furniture, title blocks, walls, viewports, windows. If there's anything else you can think of and want to put in, please do it. Make sure the colors are applicable. You're probably going to want to have depth points or something in there. So I'm actually going to add a depth points, and I'm going to make it white. And there we go. And then just make sure everything is set to how you want it. Once that's done, you can just click on the X box and our layers are set up. So if I go here, I'm going to need dimension layer. So I'm going to go in here, I'm going to add dimensions. I'm going to need to add text. I'm just going to make text gray for now, and there we go. Once that's done, we're going to need to go to our layout. So let's go to our first layout. We can delete layout 2 for now. We're going to go to layout 1. We're going to rename, and we're going to call this, if it's your site plan, so we'll just do site plan. Or site elevation. You know, you're just going to name them the way you need them to be named. We're going to come here, we're going to delete this. And then we have our fresh sheet. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go through and do what we did last time. So we're going to go to the page setup manager. We're going to create a new page setup. We're going to click OK for our site plan. We're going to rename it. Actually, yeah, we're going to rename it. No, we'll just do site plan. We'll click OK and we'll get everything going. So once we're in here, we're going to edit it. So we're going to go and we're going to do architectural B. I'm going to do it architectural B, and I'm going to have it, or D, sorry, and I'm going to have it flipped. There we go. And then our scale, so set the scale to what you need it to be. We're going to do portrait, plotter, do whatever plotter you have, but we're not doing one right now. We're just going to leave it. Quality is normal, everything's done, page is set up, and we're good to go. And then we're just going to double click, and you're going to see it's going to change our entire paper space to what we just did. So the next step in this is to create a title block that fits with the size of sheet that you're going to use. Now, I've made tutorials on YouTube, and I've done other videos on creating dynamic title blocks, creating title blocks that adjust. And the reason for that is a lot of people like to use different types of sheets and sheet sizes when they're doing drawings. However, when you're doing actual architectural work, when you're actually doing work in the industry, you're going to tend to want to stick with the same size. Because I don't know about you, but when I've done engineering work and construction work, I have noticed that blueprints stay the same. They don't really change. They're all the same. You're not going to have one guy who's doing the architectural sheets in a D size, and then you're not going to have a guy who's doing the mechanical sheets in an A size. They tend to be relatively similar and the same, simply for the purposes of uniformity and ease of use, and also for reading. So we need to keep that in mind and take that into consideration when we're doing things like this. So what we're going to do is we're going to draw our title block. So we're going to want to make sure we're on our title block layer. Now, one thing to note is I am not going to be creating a full title block. I'm just going to create an outline. So we're going to come here, I'm going to come up here, and I'm going to go as close as I can to these dotted lines, because those dotted lines are where the edge is, and I'm going to place down my made square here. You can make this as nice or as ugly as you want, as long as it fulfills the purposes that you need it to fulfill. And then I'm going to select it, and I'm going to offset it. So I'm going to offset this, and I'm going to offset it, I don't know how much I'm going to offset it, but let's just do a little bit. And we're going to put it in, and we have our title block barrier around that. And then we're going to want to come here, and we're going to want to create a title block that would fit within here. So what we're going to do is, what you can do is you can come to our templates. We can go back to our previous template we worked on, and we can kind of measure what this is. So we can measure this. So we're going to say, okay, so it's 3.5 inches for our notes. So if we go back here, we're gonna want to stay within that. So we're gonna do this. We're gonna do 3.5. Oh, I need to change my units. That's another thing. You're gonna want to set your units. So we're gonna go to our units. We're gonna change from decimal to architectural. We're gonna keep the precision the same. Inches, good, done, okay. And then we're gonna go here. 3.5 inches at 0 degrees, and that's going to be our base point for our title block. So I'm just going to move over a little bit, come down, and that's where it's going to go. Now, if you want to be pretty, we can make it pretty, so we'll do 9/16. We're going to want to go here, and we're going to want to kind of add it up. We're going to move. Put it there, grab this, delete, and there we go. So now it's kind of even. Now we're going to go back and see what else we need. So we have, this is our general nodes. So we're going to make that a pretty large site or section. So we're going to come back to our polyline. We're going to drop this, and we're going to see how far it actually drops on our other one. Probably about a little more than halfway down the page. So we're going to come here, drop this. Let's do 12 inches, go across, put this here, and there's our general notes section. And then we're going to come to our templates. We're going to take a look. We have our revision numbers and everything, so we're going to go and actually add that as well. So we're going to come here, and we're going to add this in. 3.5 inches, 0 degrees. We're going to offset an inch. An inch is too much. There we go. And then we're going to determine, let's see how tall this one is. So that's 3/8, so we're close enough. So that's 1/2 inch. And that's 2 3/8. Over. And you're going to want to make sure that you have everything, you know, nice and tidy so that it looks good. So we have that. And I actually missed a row. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, take this, take this. I'm going to copy. I'm going to pull it up, and I'm just going to have that, and there we go. So now that we have our general notes done, now we're going to add in the text after, but we have most of this kind of done. We're going to go to our templates here now, and we're going to add in our firm name and address. So we're just going to check how big this is. So 3.5 inches. So we're going to come here. We're going to skip a little bit of space. We're going to come down, and we're going to go 3.5 by 2. And then we're going to copy that, and we're going to space it about the same as we space the other one. So it's 9/16. I actually think that's too big. So I'm just going to move this up a little bit. So I'm just going to come down, pull it up, see where it is. There we go. Check the spacing. And then what I'm going to do is drop a line, grab that line, grab this, copy, and then pull it down like this, and then snap it into the corner. And then I'm going to take my 2 lines, I'm going to delete them. So a lot of people wonder why I do that when I do the lines and everything. It's so I can line things up and put things where I need them to go without having to remember where it is. And it's a really efficient way of snapping things to each other. I've been criticized for it. A lot of people don't like it, but for me, it works for me. So if you have questions about that, please feel free to reach out. If you have a better way, let me know. I want to know a better way, but if not, please feel free to follow along with what we're doing. So then we're going to come here and do our project thing. So we're going to actually take this again. We're going to copy, we're going to make another line here. I'm going to take that, I'm going to copy it, push it down, and then I'm going to shrink the size of my rectangle thing here. So I'm going to take this, delete, grab this, pull it up a little bit. And there we have it. So we have our title block here. So I'm actually going to grab this, and I'm going to move it all down. And you can see that we have a little bit of space here. We could add another section, but for the sake of this, we're just going to leave it the same. Actually, you know what? No, for the sake of this, we're actually going to push it up a little bit to make it a little more full. So we're going to do that. And then we're going to take this, we're going to move it. If you're looking to master architectural design and get certified in AutoCAD, and you don't feel like spending 2 years and $10,000 or more on education, then we've got the perfect webinar for you. It's called AutoCAD Practical Design. It's completely 100% free. Go check out the link. It's sure to help you, and we look forward to seeing you inside. And there we go. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to want to add text to our drawing. So when we do this, we're going to need to go to our text. We're going to add our text. So one thing I will note is we're going to make our text, but we should actually make it black. So we're going to go back into our layer properties, and we're going to change our text to black. And there we go. So then I'm going to go through, I'm going to add the text. I'm going to split the video in 2. We're going to do part 2. So we'll see you in for you the next lesson, but I'm going to keep recording, and we will get this done for you. Hey guys, welcome back. So what we're going to be doing now is we're going to be adding text to our brand new title block here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go look at the template that we have been given. We're going to look at the text that we have there. We're going to describe it a little bit and kind of try to understand why that text is there, what it means, and we're going to run through that. And then we're going to add this text to our title block. So let's just get started right here. So please open up your AutoCAD, get to your template, and let's continue on here. So what we're going to do is we're going to open up our example title block that we had from before. And we're going to zoom in here, and we're going to see some of the basics of the title block in this project. You can see we have a general notes section. And so this gives you a number, a revision / issue, and a date. So we'll just go over this. So general notes is kind of like an area where, well, or notes if you want. It's kind of where you, well, put notes. Things that change, revisions, numbers, things like that. So you can see here we have a number, we have a revision / issue. So that's just like the version of the drawing. So let's say you do your first drawing. So it would be number 1, revision, you know, whatever you're going to name it. And the date is going to be the date, obviously, that you made that change. So the first one you do is going to be the first one, and it's going to have most of the things that should happen on site. It'll have what the building should look like, but chances are you're going to have to change either a floor, you're going to have to change a wall, you're going to have to change a bathroom, something like that. Something's going to need to change, and you're going to have to go in and you're going to have to change that. So what this does is it allows you to have a, how do you say this, a paper record of the changes that you've made so you can understand where you've put things in your drawing. So that's just something to keep in mind when you're doing things. So let's say you're doing a project with us, you're doing your project, and then we come to you, we talk to you, and we say, well, this needs to be changed, or this should go here. And then you come back, you're going to change the drawing, and then we're going to talk about it again. What you would do is you would come, you would put in your revision, you put in your revision number, put in the date, change your drawing, and then we'd go over it from there. So that's kind of how you would do revisions. Now, if you're working on site with a client, it's the same principle. So client says they don't like something, you go, you change it, you bring it back to them, you just mark that down so you know what's going on. If we come down here, we're going to see the firm name and address. It's pretty self-explanatory. Project name and address. So what this is a separate address from the firm name. This question has come up before, where it's like, well, is this the address again for the company? It's no. It's the project's address. So up here, you'd put, like for us, we would put Verwey Drafting Inc., and then we would put our address. And then here we would put project name. So that would be the name that we have for the project. So that's either the name that you get for the project or it's the name that you create for the project. You would put it there, and then you would put the address for the project where it's going to happen, where the construction will occur on this as well. Then you come down here, it's going to say project, date, and scale, as well as sheet. So this is going to be sheet. So when we went over sheets in the previous module, or was that in this module? Interpreting blueprints. No, that was in this module. So you would see like an A1 or something like that. That's where the A1 would go. Project, again, that's just going to be the project name. The date, that is, again, the date that you started the drawing. And then the scale is the scale you're drawing the drawing at and how it shows up in your viewport. So we're going to be talking about scaling a little bit more in more detail in a later video. But for now, we're just going to leave it because, again, we're setting up our template. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this, we're going to take our text, and we're going to put it in ours. So we're going to go here, we're going to go get some text. So we're going to go grab our text, and we're going to put this in. So I'm going to go in the corner here, put in my text, and I'm going to type in general notes. I'm just copying what they have. I like the scale of this, so I'm going to leave it. Put that there. Get my text again. We're going to just move this. Then we'll go back and take a look. So we have revision / issue and date. So what you can see here is I have this, my date is a little bigger than my block. So what I could do is I can come to my block and I can just pull it out just a little bit. And then I'm going to go and just adjust this. And I'm going to go through and actually, you know what? I'm going to leave that there because it's a little bigger. So I'm just going to leave that. And then we're going to come here. We're going to see what this is. So that's firm name and address. So I'm going to put in my information here. And then I'll just copy this down. And we'll go here, take a look at this. So project, date, scale. So I'm going to go here, grab a polyline. I'm going to go in the middle actually, pull it up. and I'm going to divide that into thirds. So I'm just going to do a rough estimate. Now again, if you're doing this, you're actually going to do more precise work than I am. So then there we go. So then what we're going to do is we're going to go here, we're going to type in our... Now here I'm going to scale down the size of this. And there we have it. So then what we would do is you'd make sure everything kind of looks pretty good. I'd go in here, make this work, and there we have it. So then what I would do is I would then go and I would put my information here. So, you know, one example, road west, Quebec or something. And of course you would make this look a little nicer. Be careful of your snaps because they will snap wherever the heck you want. They will go and you're not going to have control over it. We're going to do this example project. I'll scale these down actually. And then you'd put in your project sheet number. So this will usually be larger, as we've seen before. And there you have it. So this is adding text to your title block. So then what I would do in this case is I would literally, I'd get rid of the project and I would get rid of the sheet as well. And then what I would do is I would leave my firm, the address on there. So then that's always there and I don't have to type it in all the time. So then what you have is you have your title block and you're pretty much set and ready to go for the most part. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our title block here though, and then what we're going to do is we're going to block it. So what this does is this allows us to have a title block. So we're going to call this title block for architect program. And then we're going to specify point on screen. And this will be the insertion point. So I recommend you do a corner because then what happens is when you copy it, this is going to allow you to insert it there, and then you'll have the corner, and then you can just put it in your corner. Now, here's the thing. So you have this title block. This title block is going to be good for this size sheet. Again, I've made tutorials about making a scalable one, but it's just more efficient to just have a variety of title blocks for different size sheets. So I recommend for whatever projects you're doing, you go and you create, for the sheets you use most, I would go and create a title block for each of those, and then that way you have your template set up. Because again, templates are going to save you a lot of time. So what we're going to do is we're going to look back here. We're going to say, okay, everything looks good. And then what do we have to do? Well, we need to add our viewport. So what is the viewport? So the viewport, again, allows you to see into the drawing, and it gives you a scale for everything. So there's multiple types of viewports that we've talked about. So we're going to go here. We're going to type in viewport, press enter. We're going to go to single. We're going to click OK, and then we're going to specify our corner, come down, put it there, and make it look nice. So I'm just going to grab it. I'm going to move it over a little bit. I'm going to grab this, pull it, and then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to make my title block look a little nicer a little later on, but we're going to focus on this. So here's our viewport. So another thing to note is I need to put this in my viewport so then I can see the outline, which is the blue, which is kind of like what we did last time. And then if I come here, again, we're going to just draw something. I don't want this to be viewport. I want this to be walls. I'm going to change to walls. I'm going to change to walls. I'm going to offset 6 inches. That's pretty big. That's okay. So we'll just go, we'll make it kind of work for what we got here. So we'll just go, we'll extend it out. Doesn't have to be perfect. This is just an example like we had before. And we can go in here to our main drawing, and we can go and give it a scale. So you can see we have our drawing here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to come here, we're going to select our scale, and you're going to want to select a scale that encompasses your drawing, that makes your drawing look nice. So we're going to go here, 1/5, quarter, half. We could probably go 1 to 1. There we go. So we'll go 1 to 1 and then lock it, and there you go. So once this is done, put in your notes, put in your revision numbers, put in your project name and address, and that's how you do that. So we're going to be running over a few more things in this. I'm going to show you how to copy this over in the next video. What we're going to do is we're going to go create a few more sheets. We're going to go over which sheets you're going to need to do this for, and we're going to go over what's required. So until next time, we'll see you in the next one.